for tuning in to GTO Good Old Boys. Buckle up and enjoy the show with your host, Paul Ponder.
Hey guys, it's Paul Ponder. I'm the host of GTO Good Old Boys, and we have a special guest here today, Miss Kay Donaldson. She's over the ABT 100 and then just the ABT tournaments, correct?
That's it.
Well,
Glad to be here.
Thank you so much for stopping by, and I want you to give us an update on what our new tournament schedule is going to be for next year.
Well, we're looking forward to having two tournaments on Lake Guntersville next year, starting off with the Alabama Bass Trail 100, January the 18th on Lake Guntersville, but it'll be in the Scottsboro area. We've got 100 boats already signed up. We've got 5 or 6 on the waiting list. It's sold out in record time. I mean, the first year it sold out in 39 hours, but that was the first year, and I think it was new, and everybody was really excited about it. And then it's taken 4 or 5 days each year to fill up. This year, 53 hours.
Wow.
And we're really excited about that. It's real heavy on the Tennessee River, and I think that was an attraction to some people. But I think 3 really big bass factories. You've got January the 18th. We'll be here at Lake Guntersville. Looking forward to that. And then in June, because these are kind of spaced out, June 7th, we'll go to Eufaula, which is a big bass factory. We just weighed in 32 over 5-pounders down there last weekend.
Wow.
In the middle of June. So it was a good tournament. And then wrap it up at what I just love is Wilson Lake. It's a small body of water.
Right.
And that's really what makes the 100 so special is it's a limited number of boats on a small body of water. We've seen it just be amazing at Wadowee. Right. So I really think it's going to be cool to be there in November on Wilson Lake. I think smallmouth are going to be really good. And it just kind of changes things up to be able to go to one of those smaller bodies of water. So
Tennessee River Sleeper Lake.
It is. You know, I don't think it gets enough love.
It don't.
But
it don't.
That's okay. We can show it some love when
Just
we get
watch
there.
buzzards.
For sure. I have never seen like that in my life. You know, Smith Lake's tough on that too. Yeah. On the power grid, yeah. There's a new place down there that's like a waterfront marina. I don't know if you've been down on 72, but they're doing a lot of construction down there. They're assisting us as well as the city of Florence in hosting that event. So it'll be the first time they've ever really done anything in bass fishing. But they've got a really neat facility right there in Shoal Creek, and I think it's going to be really good. Utilize the state facility, also Lock 6, and then safety.
Wow.
So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, what about the regular ABT trail?
Regular ABT is... Dude, this is the time of the year you start getting all the phone calls, start getting all the text messages and Facebook messages about getting registered.
Yes.
A lot of anxiety goes into that, not only from me, but from the guys trying to get in. Typically, in an Alabama Bass Trail Series, we have somewhere around 45 to 50 spots open each year. Okay. Either guys don't resign, you know, they lose their partner, work, family, whatever. They back out. So we usually have about 50 spots to fill on the 15th of August. And in the past couple years, it's taken under 30 minutes. Somewhere around that 22, somewhere around that 22, 25-minute range for us to fill up. So the guys that fish with us, they get 14 days priority, so they can kind of decide if they want to fish or not. And then on the night of the 14th, I look at it, and it's typically anywhere from, I would say, 45 to, and sometimes we've had 65 spots open. Right. I don't think it's going to be that way next year. I mean, I really think on the 15th, you're going to have 50 spots to fill, and it'll go pretty quickly. Wow. You know, last year we made an increase in the entry fees. We went from $1,300 to $1,600. Okay. But we also went up significantly in the payout. We went from $47,000 in the payout to over $64,000. Wow. So all of the money goes back in. We pay out over 113% to the anglers. So they're always fishing for their money plus a little bit of ours. Right. So we went from a $10,000 first place to $15,000. So if you're in a Phoenix boat, you're walking away with a $23,000 check. Wow. For a one-day tournament.
That's a pretty good payday.
Hey, for $320 entry fee.
Exactly.
I'll take those odds every time.
Yes, sir. I'm telling you what, that is unreal. The state has really stepped up and helped you out a whole lot.
They did. You know, when we first started the trail, just the pat on the back that we got from the state, they did give us $100,000 to get started. And I don't ever hide things, you know, I'm not one to hide things. The governor asked me to do this, and he wanted a tournament trail in the state of Alabama, and it was really important to him that we go to the significant lakes in the state that, one, had a resume that was used to hosting tournaments, but also go into some of those smaller bedroom communities like Camden, like Wilson Lake, there in Rogersville, and areas like that, and create economic impact. And the first 3 years we went to Camden, they saw an 80% raise in sales tax. Wow. So we did what we're supposed to do. And you look at communities, people think Prattville's a big town, but it's not a big tourism town. So when you take 225 boats in there, it makes a substantial economic impact. Wetumpka on Lake Jordan is the same way. So it was really his goal that we go into small communities and make an impact. And so a lot of these communities, they view the Alabama Bass Trail as kind of like the Super Bowl or the Bassmaster Classic.
Okay.
So, and that's what, we're kind of charged to do. And hopefully when we leave, the cities feel like that we left them better than it was when we came, whether it be financially or whatever. So it's exciting. We're just about to wrap up tomorrow. Saturday, we wrap up our 11th regular season.
Wow.
Yeah. And I say
We're better than Gunnersville to wrap it up.
Well, I said on our podcast this week, Gunnersville is so important to me because it's where we announce the tourism part of what we do, the Alabama Bass Trail. And then we had our very first tournament here on February the 1st of 2014. 200 boats blasted off. And I remember it being so surreal. I don't think I really grasped the enormity of that. I think I was just running on adrenaline or whatever. My daughter, Emma, sang the national anthem. And I don't remember having really a heavy coat on, but we had 3 days of single-digit weather. Most of the creeks were frozen over. We didn't know how the guys were going to fish, but it never dawned on me at that time that the ramp could freeze over. Like none of that sunk into me until much later on when I really started looking at the logistics of how that happened. But where we were then and where we are now is so night and day. And I say this all the time. We have 1,100 anglers that fish the ABT North, South, and the 100s. And I say we have 1,100 of the best outside salespeople that a company could ask for. They're in GTO talking the good word. They're talking about the Alabama Bass Trail. They're, and without that, I mean, you've been in this business enough to know that if they're not talking good about you, they're talking bad about you.
That's correct.
And it can certainly affect your clientele. And we've got a lot of guys that's been with us all 11 years. We've got a lot of newcomers, and we're blessed with that.
Well, you've got to have a mix. It makes the world go round, is having a mix. And it's fun to be associated with a trail like you have, and you run it very, very well.
Well, thank you. And we're, when you look at anglers like Fisher and I, you and I talked about him a little earlier, you see Caleb and Connor Miller that have come on really strong in the South Division. You see that new crop of anglers. And you're almost having to raise your game. Caleb and Connor finished 12th in the points in the South. Those are two high school kids.
Exactly.
And they kicked butt all year. You're seeing Ryan do that. He's fishing with Ryan and Fisher. You're seeing Fisher fish with his dad. But as you watch him on live, I mean, Ryan's really taken his cues from Fisher.
Yes.
Like, they have a strategy, but Fisher has proven time and time again in the Toyota Series, in the BFLs, that he is one great angler. And so to see that when you kind of copy that with the teams like the Damian Willis and Tyler Kikers that have been around, Tracy Robinson, Dustin, that have been around for a long time, then you've kind of got a good mix. And it does show that William and Donna Lynn are a husband and wife couple that do very well in our trail.
Yes.
Then you have Fisher and Ryan, high school kids, Caleb and Connor Miller doing well. It just shows you that you don't have to be a pro, as most people think, to fish the Alabama Bass Trail. We really appeal to all dynamics, and that's what I love about it. I really do.
It is, and it's a tournament. When you get through with it, it makes you feel good that you was a part of it.
Well, I think everybody wants to experience what it's like to be on the Elite Series.
Yes.
What it's like, and I think, honestly, the Alabama Bass Trail gives you that opportunity. It's a big stage. You've got live coverage. You've got the photographer there. You've got the interview there. You've got the big fish care thing, going on. So I think it gives everyone an opportunity to have that experience without the enormous expense, without the extensive travel. So I do think it clicks a lot of people's boxes. It's not for everybody.
Right.
And I always say, when you get ready to fish the Alabama Bass Trail, bring your A game and have a little humility about yourself, because it's tough. I've had guys tell me they registered the first year and we don't really think we'll win a tournament. We just want to get a check in every one of them. And I'm like, that dude is saying something if you think you can pull a check in each Alabama Bass Trail.
You got that shot right.
But there's a ton of great anglers in the state of Alabama. We have anglers from 17 states.
I did not realize that.
17 states that participate.
That tells
with
you
us.
right there how good a tournament it is.
Oh, it is. We've got guys this year from Wisconsin, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, South Carolina, Florida, of course, Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi. But we've got several from the Midwest and then the North that fish with us, and it's it's humbling when they
Right.
choose to fish with you and they choose to put all that time and effort and resources into fishing the Alabama Bass Trail.
And now, do you have the schedule for this coming up year?
We do, and I'm going to try my best to remember it. If I have to glance at my phone, y'all just have to. I have a lot of
I
things
can't
on my
wait
mind,
for it to come out.
so I
This-
do.
this is
It
gonna be
has
good.
come out, and it's really good. I'm excited about the North schedule and the South. I mean, I think both of them sets up really well. If I can pull it up on my phone here, we'll let it load. I do know that we're going to start at Smith Lake. It's I think it's February the 8th. We'll start at Smith Lake. And then I think it's March the 15th. We'll be here on Gunnersville
Okay.
at the state park. We'll be putting in there.
That's going to be two good
That's
ones.
going to be two good ones right there. And then our April tournament, I'm going to misquote this, I know. April tournament, I believe, is No, it's not Pickwick because we're there in June. Here it is. I can tell you exactly. All right, our April tournament is April 19th at Neely Henry Lake, which will be a good one. We've
yes,
had
it
23
will.
pounds weight in there. Last year, I think we had a 22-pound stringer and we had an 829.
That was amazing.
That
to
was
me.
amazing.
I
The
never
Seaborn brothers.
dreamed
Well,
that
and
it would happen.
I didn't pick the Seaborn brothers winning there. I always pick them on Smith to do really well, but an 829 changes your day.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Yeah,
Change attitude, too.
Yeah. I would have probably fished a little bit easier if I had an 829 in the boat.
Exactly.
And then May 10th, we go to Weiss, which we love going
Okay.
down to Weiss Lake. And then we wrap it up on a ledge-type tournament at Pickwick on June the 14th, I believe. So June 14th is when that one will be. And then the championship, October, Wheeler Lake. And I want to say something about Wheeler Lake. Yes, that's my home lake.
Yeah.
But through 10 years of the Alabama Bass Trail, it is the heaviest weighted championship we've ever had. 2 days tournament, 41-41 took the win. And even coming to Gunnersville, we didn't, in 2019, we didn't crest that. And I really thought we would.
Right.
But so far, Wheeler was the championship in 2015, and no one's beat that weight yet.
Wow.
So our largest fish came in Alabama Bass Trail history came on Pickwick. It was a 1036, and it was in March of 2019. So,
Wow.
yeah, Jeremy Christian won that one. He weighed that one in, and it is a big one. But we've had a lot of really good things go
Right.
on the Alabama Bass Trail. Pretty transparent about everything. We've been very blessed to have safe tournaments because there were some
Right.
times that I really wish we would not have gone after we got out there. But we've been really blessed, and we've lost some guys on the Alabama Bass Trail and people that were really instrumental on developing the Alabama Bass Trail. But we continue to get new anglers and new supporters and new fans all the time, and I'm very blessed to do that. And I have John and Daniel are my tournament directors, and then you have another 11 that come in and make this thing go, and then you have about 15 that are on our film crew. So where we've started and where we are now is day and night different. But it's been a big blessing, and I've been lucky to start this thing about 12 years ago and still be here 12 years later. So
I tell you, that's saying a whole lot.
well, I think it's saying a little bit about me being crazy
It
too.
is,
so,
Kay. You've done
yeah.
a fabulous
Well,
job,
thank you.
and thank you so much for coming by and taking the time to talk with us. And
Anytime
Tell the
you
tournaments-
ask me to do something, Paul, I'm going to do it because you're so good to our anglers. Everybody that comes in here just talks and raves about your staff and the selection that you have, and you always have our sponsors here and that support our trail. And
Right.
but everybody talks about how nice you guys are and
Well,
how
thank
well
you.
the service is and how well stocked and everything. So
Well, they
it's
do a
always
good
fun
job.
to come by here and see
My
y'all.
wife takes care of the stocking and everything else. She's let me retire and do what I want to, so I'm running my mouth. And so we're all having a good time, and we couldn't ask for any better employees. I can't say enough about the employees that we do have. They are second to none, and they're very special, and they mean a whole lot to Jan and I.
That's good. That's good.
so,
I know
And
that
you
they
know how I feel because
I
you've
do.
got the same thing, or you still wouldn't be
do.
kicking it in high gear.
No. And I tell you, in this day and time, to have people who are dedicated to your cause and to share your belief and all of that is few and far between. So when you find those people,
Right.
you have to hold them close and
Right.
appreciate them. That's for
Well,
sure.
ain't it so fun to be positive?
It is. So much negative has been going on in our
Right.
industry, and I think it's good to share a positive word. And I try not to get bogged down in a lot of it. Sometimes I
can't.
do.
Right.
I'm not going to
You
lie.
will.
Sometimes I do.
You're human.
But it's good. I can't really say anything negative that we've had come across Alabama Bass Trail this year. You may have heard the story about the two guys that turned themselves in at Wheeler for having
Yes.
6 fish. I'll say this, and this guy doesn't want his name to be told, and I haven't told the story yet. had an angler reach out to me 2 weeks after that tournament, and he said, I want to know how much more money I won because they did what they did. And I told him, and he said, I want you to split that money equally. I'm going to send you a check for it, and I want you to send it to them equally.
Wow.
And I said, okay, I can do that. So he did exactly what he said he would do. He sent me a check for the amount of money more money he won by moving up a spot. And I called both of the guys, and I said, just want to let you know you're going to check in the mail. It's going to be for this amount. And this is courtesy of someone who fished the tournament that appreciate your integrity and what you meant to the trail. And he wanted y'all to have it. And one of them got pretty emotional about it. And I said, y'all are the very reason that this is special.
Yes.
And that guy is just a really, really cool dude. And it takes people like that. And that those stories are the ones that I get to participate in.
Yes.
That not a whole lot of people know about it. And that's what makes this job so special.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And guys, it's anywhere you go, you're not going to get as many positives or relationships built as what you are in fishing. It's not catching the fish all the time. It's being sitting in the boat with someone that you love, someone that you've learned to love, or just loving the outdoors. And, just to share things and all the positive things like Kay's just told you. And so if you can, get somebody and go fishing. If it's your first time, get your butt out there and fish. And if nothing else, look at the eagles. I mean, there's so much outdoors that you can see. And I got chill bumps now, so I'm going to wipe it off, and I'm going to close it up and saying thank you so much. And Kay, thank you for giving us what you've gave us. And thank you for the past 12 years. And thank you for the next 12 years.
Thank you.
And so we're going to leave it at that. And y'all's line, stay tight, and y'all have a great day. Thank you.